Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Survivor Palisades finale exit interview series. I'm Emmett, the creator, producer, host, and editor of Survivor Palisades, and I am joined with a legend in Survivor Palisades, a three-time player. You have done it all. You've been first out, you've been last out, you've made the final three. You really are just an eccentric player, and I'm so grateful to get the chance to talk to you. I'm here with Anna. Anna, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes. How was that intro? Was that good?
That was awesome. That was really cool. I didn't
Thank
even
you.
realize I did that, so I'm hyped. That's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get into everything with this season. But let me just say, as I did, you're one of my favorite Survivor Palisades players ever. You have made this season so much fun. I'm so glad you came back. And honestly, like you probably shouldn't have realistically with your timing the day before. I don't know if you remember all that, but we
Oh
will
my gosh,
jump into
yes.
that too. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you're listening. Also, stay tuned. We're going to talk about an unaired advantage that Anna found during the game. So don't leave this interview yet. Yes, I'm doing a little bit of clickbait. I don't know what the word is for that.
Fire. That's awesome.
Foreshadowing. But you guys should stay around and check that out and hear that. But I first want to say, Anna, you were so close. You were playing so well. You were absolutely killing the first half of this game. You destroyed it. Why'd you get so like Survivor Palisades fatigue? What was that like? What was that feeling?
Well, starting the day, I only had like I think like 3 or 4 hours of sleep to start the day, so I was already pretty tired. And then once Abigail went home, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way they're keeping me around. So it was kind of like, how far can I make it after that, you know?
It became more survival and like sort of like a little bit of like a dark comedy at that point, maybe for you.
Yeah, 100%. And especially once Chloe did her big one with that idol play, I was like, okay, like, I don't know, like I'm not winning. So
Just have
I
fun
don't
with
know.
it.
Yeah, like, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I will be the first to say and defend anyone who is watching that you are like genuinely a really, really good Survivor player, like
Thank you.
really good at Survivor. You've done strategies in this season that I didn't even know were possible. I think people talked about in the comments, like being able to confront someone and then get away with that as a way to shield the target of you through like pure chaos is like the way that you were able to pull that off is crazy. And you are really such a good Survivor player. And we'll talk more about the entire season. But yeah, let's jump in with your earlier seasons. Let's talk about fans versus favorites and Sabotage Island. So you played this game for the first time. Let me get this right. Let me get this right. I think you were 13. Is
I
that
think
right?
so.
Wow, you were 13 and 14 for, am I wrong? I might be wrong.
I think it was,
No, I think you were.
if it
Or
was 8 years ago, then yeah.
wait,
Wait.
maybe you were 14, 15. I think you were 14, 15.
14, 15. I didn't have a driver's license. I know that, but
Wait, no, I'm actually wrong because I was 11 when I first hosted, 12. You were 15, 16. Okay, there we go. You were
that feels
15,
so old.
16.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, tell me about playing as a 15 and 16-year-old, your experiences on the first two seasons, just all of that.
I mean, the first time I played, I thought it was gonna be really good because I'd been watching Survive, that I was like, oh my gosh, easy, like in the bag. And then I was out first and took
Idled
that.
out though, to be fair.
Wait, what?
Idled out. You had the votes to stay, technically.
What? I forgot that.
Yeah, you were idled out by Zach, remember? And Zach and Liam.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. No, I still hold a grudge on Zach and Liam, but oh my gosh, I forgot about the idol. But no, that was really upsetting. Um, and so I think the second time I played, my goal was to stay as long as I could, which I did. So I'm kind of like, you know, I think the strategy every time I've played has been stay as long as you can. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so going into All-Stars, what did you want to prove? What did you want to do based on what you had already done? You'd done a lot at that point. You got in fourth, you got in 10th. So
I wanted to like play and for people to be like, oh my God, she's such a good player. Which maybe didn't happen this time, but it's cool. Um,
arguably, I think there's some pretty passionate Anna fans, strategy fans out there.
Thank you. I maybe should have prepared a little harder with strategy this time. Um, but I wanted to like not just be like strung along to the end and be like you know, um, not or the easy vote out at the finals three. Um, which, happened, but like it's cool. I made it still, so
Totally. Yeah, so was it an instant yes when you were called back to do this again? Was it like, I need to do this again?
yes, no doubt that I was like for sure. Um, which made I had to my lease ended the day of filming, so having to like pack up everything was awesome. But no, I was gonna be there for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second because I want everyone to know this and everyone to give you an insane amount of credit. We'll talk about prepping for the season and all that. But Anna, we filmed this on June 15th. We started at I think 6 a.m., maybe even earlier. You had your last like final or your lease ended or something the 14th, June 14th. You go to school 3 hours away from where we filmed this. I think you said you started driving home at what 9 p.m. that day. You got home and you actually went to bed at 1:30, right? Something like
I think
that.
I got home. I think I left at like midnight. That it was a tough.
Wow. So you got home around 3:30.
Hmm.
Then you played Survive. You woke up 2 hours later. You're on
Yeah, I
two
think yeah.
hours of sleep. Wow, that is incredible. Everyone, please give Anna props and the credits for showing up for the season for that. And like literally, this is no joke. Like we start at 6 a.m. We end at 9. We ended at 9:30. We were an hour behind schedule. So you were
Hmm.
playing that on so little sleep. That's crazy.
But like the adrenaline gets you, in the morning. We're like, oh my gosh, like
Tell me about Survivor Palisades adrenaline. What does it feel like when you're there in the moment?
I mean, it's exciting, and then having like all the cameras on you, you're like it's so much attention, which I enjoy. That I was like, this is sick. And then it's like seeing people but like I mean, at least for me, not very well, because everyone is like 5 years younger than me or whatever the number is. That it's like people I've seen around or like heard of or like they played, so I've seen them, but I don't know them. That it was exciting to get to like interact with them and play
Yeah.
with them.
Totally. What was your like preseason prep like? Like besides not having much time to, be there in person on that day because you drove up, what was your thought process going in? I remember you talking to me about you rewatched or not rewatched, you watched David versus Goliath, stuff like that.
I rewatched, or I guess watched David and Goliath, which my sister was on, and I was like trying to see who was the big players, which I think was Gage and Ella Rose, at least in my opinion. That I was like, okay, they're clearly going to be playing hard if they're there. Keep an eye out, and that's in my head, I thought I was the one that got Ella Rose out, and watching it back, maybe not. But in my head, that was so my idea, and I was like, killed that because she was a big threat. Um, but I don't know, like prep wise, I didn't really have a strategy prepped, but I was like, I want to get the big players out while they're not huge or while they're not really running it that crazy.
Totally. I would honestly argue that you had a pretty big role in the Ella Rose vote equal to Abigail. I think you two honestly both ran it. I think edit wise, based on like Chloe winning the season, your confessional I think is after Chloe's in the episode, so maybe it seems like you had less control than you did, but I think you were absolutely one of the people running it. I also find it interesting you said Dylan, excuse me, you said Gage and EllaRose were the big players. Those are the people who you walked in with. Those are the only people you saw at the beginning of the game, the only people that you like walked into the game with. Tell me about being there with Gage, EllaRose, and Catalina at the beginning. Like you guys aren't really allowed to talk. You're sort of sizing each other up. You're gonna walk in and see eight other people. What were you feeling then?
It was a weird where I didn't know if we were gonna like align together because we were walking in or like what that was gonna be. But I knew there was someone to watch out for, but also to like socialize with. So getting to like talk to them a little before starting the show, even if it wasn't show related, like getting to know them was kind of cool. And I thought was an advantage because at least like there's like a sense of personableness or whatever that word is. That maybe they'd want to align with me and like play with me more than other people they don't know.
Totally. Maybe just sitting with Gage at the beginning was part of the reason why he wanted to keep you and his entire game sort of fell through because of that. Who knows?
I don't know why Gage, like, I mean, maybe that's my fault. I don't know why Gage did what he did or like said what he said. Like, I don't know. I don't know why he would tell me he was gonna vote for me, and then expect me to vote with him again. But no, I was open to an alliance in the moment. Just, not when my name's the other name that he's saying maybe about. That was crazy. Like, that was so wild.
I cannot wait to talk everything Gage with you. Just following this intro part really quickly, and then we'll jump into all things episode one. You see the 8 other players who are there who are not in your group walking in. Was there anyone you were surprised to see, scared to see, any of the above,
Dylan and
excited to see?
Chloe, for sure. I was like, because Dylan won, season one, and then Chloe's just been good at like, I feel like she's really personable, which is, I mean, obviously great for the show, and she's also very casual with like the way she moves that I was like, oh. But she got me. Like she got me so good because she was so personal that even when she did her big one with Abigail, I was like, no, I can trust her. It's Chloe. Like, so it got me.
Totally. What was your perception of Sarah going into this? We see you sort of work with her. What do you think about her preseason?
I didn't think about her too much preseason. She seemed really nice. I had a good time talking to her and playing with her. Thought she was trustworthy. Nothing crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump into everything episode one. You lose the challenge. One of my favorite moments. It didn't air when you watched the finale, but when the challenge is going on and Sean's like, they're struggling, and you give a little eye roll. I don't know if you remember that. That's such a fun intro to you as a character. You're also the last person to speak in this season, which is also funny note. You don't speak until like 20 minutes into the episode, and it's only because I lost the footage of your preseason interview, and I didn't have the footage of your
That
preseason interview. Like you probably would have gotten an opening confessional easy, like
fire.
100% if that weren't for my fault. But it worked out.
It happens.
Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. Thousands of hours of footage, but yeah, we had to lose something. It's sad that we lost probably a really iconic opening
Keep them
interview.
waiting is cool, you know? Like
Maybe one day we'll find it in archival footage, and people will be like, "What is this?" And it'll explain civilization.
I'm sure I feel like it got the point across even without it though, you know, like
True, true. Yeah, so let's jump in episode one. So you're on a tribe with 6 people. Before you even get to the strategy, you see your tribe draw. What's your initial impression of Vanessa, EllaRose, Dylan, Gage, and Abigail?
that's a hard I mean, I thought Dylan was gonna be a threat. I thought Gage and Dylan were gonna align together, which they did. Um ooh, um but sorry, like I think yeah, in my head those two were gonna align. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna align with Abigail. Cause like I know Abigail from the past. She's cool. I trust her in some sense. Um, but yeah, I really did think it was going to be girls versus guys, which it was. So I was right for a little bit of it. I didn't know too much about Vanessa. I know she was also a hard player. Um, but yeah, I don't. I guess I thought in my head we'd maybe align later down the line, but that wasn't my initial plan. No.
Yeah, the whole Girls Alliance thing was so interesting because I was really worried about I knew for the season it was going to be 7 girls and 5 guys. I didn't think that I just thought that that was how All Stars was going to work. The only other guy that I thought would be interested was Zach, and he had a scheduling issue. Aryov also had a scheduling issue. So there were just always going to be 5 guys in the season. I was worried that would be like a disadvantage to the guys. But really, honestly, Gage should have survived this round in every scenario. Like it was his undoing that caused a girls' alliance, which I found really interesting. But yeah, like jumping to this tribe, I think I was surprised, honestly, that you and Abigail aligned. I thought you guys were very different. And yes, you had been on the same season, but you never played the game before, and that was also 6 years ago prior to
Mhm.
filming. So what was it about Abigail that made you trust her right away? I think both of you guys maybe didn't have people initially to
Mhm.
go to. Maybe that was part of it, but what were the vibes that you were getting from her that made you want to align with her?
I really do think, I mean, I love Abigail, right, for her. But I think like Vanessa and Ella Rose knew each other, Engage and Dylan seemed playing Ellen, but not really
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I think
on.
I lost
Sorry.
you. I lost you at Gage. You said Vanessa and Ella Rose knew each other and Gage and Dylan. It says my internet is unstable. Shoot.
Oh no, it totally could be mine. That's my bad. But I think Gage and like Dylan not gravitated towards each other, but I guess gravitated towards each other to playing together that I didn't really have any like close duo vibe going. That Abigail was the only person left, which is cool because she's awesome. But yeah, so I was like, okay. And she seemed nice enough in her seasons before. Like she didn't seem like she was gonna go around and like backstab me.
Yeah, you and Abigail are the storyline of the first six episodes pretty much of this season. You guys are so like you're just awesome together. It's just good vibes. I think everyone watching is rooting for the two of you. You guys balance each other out so well. Abigail has that sort of like calm edge, and you're able to be a little more like, I don't know, like aggressive with how you play towards some people, and it's just a really fun duo to watch. Was it fun watching that back? And were you having fun playing with her? Like, did you sort of know in that moment, like, yeah, like we're the main characters right now?
I mean, like, I think everyone thinks they're the main character, but of course, I was like, and I trusted her like completely, which is crazy because we didn't really know each other outside of the show. Um, but just good vibes, and like, especially after the first vote, she could have turned on me and gone with like, um, Vanessa and Ella Rose and done their thing, but she didn't. And she kept, like, she was great. She really did balance me out. Because I maybe was a little too upfront my first couple votes. But no, I thought it was a lot of fun. I was like, okay, this works. That when she got voted out, I was like, oh, like this sucks.
Yeah, I think you and Abigail might be the most loyal locked in duo ever on Survivor Palisades. Like, and it doesn't even like seem overbearing on the season. Like it comes across that you guys are working together, but it's never so central, but it's like you guys were so trusting of each other. I think you both would have taken each other to the end, probably, I would guess.
For
Um,
sure, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, let's continue to talk about this tribe makeup. You said it first in the episode one, and I think there's a lot to cover in episode one, and then the rest of the episodes it might be a little less. But episode one in particular, you were um getting bad vibes from your tribe right away. No one was speaking. No one said a name for like 30 minutes. You guys only have 40. So what did that feel like? What did you think of Vanessa and Ella Rose at the beginning?
I mean, I like no hate to them. They just no one was talking to me, which I feel like if no one's talking to you, it's you. Which I was right. Um,
Your reads this season were so good. We'll talk
Thank
about more of them.
you. I
Yeah.
was like intuition was really going crazy on that one. But like I like they wouldn't really make an effort to talk to me. And neither was Dylan engaged. Like I had to approach everyone and be like, "Who are we voting?" And it really felt like they were giving me a fake name.
Mm.
But that's why like at least Gage couldn't keep a straight face or like couldn't poker face was off. That when I was like, "Is it me?" and he turned bright red, I was like, "Ugh, like are you kidding?" Um but no, like Abigail was the only one that really seemed like she was honest and she was like, I don't know, or like when she had information, she would tell me, and I was like, okay, this is good.
For sure. Yeah, I think I don't know, this is not aired at all, so the viewers won't know this, but when the girls sort of solidified at the beginning, your push was initially on Dylan. You wanted Dylan out, not Gage. You and Abigail really wanted Dylan out. Like there was potential for a second of Dylan going home first. Like you guys were like saying his name like crazy to Vanessa and Ella Rose. They weren't getting the memo. They were saying Gage, and so you guys sort of just played it calm, went with a safe vote. But you guys wanted Dylan out first, which I think is really fascinating and obviously a really good move because see what he does this entire season. I mean, he's just like a
Yeah.
force. But I want to jump into the Gage thing. So when you were approaching Gage, you make that sort of handshake at the beginning, which I think is genius. I think one of the best moves of the entire pre-merge, maybe the whole season, is your ability to get Gage to tell you everything while giving him absolutely nothing. Like he had nothing that he needed to tell you. Like you just got him. Like at that point, you were probably voting for him, and you were just using the same logic of we're aligned back to him while you were probably going to still vote for him. Were you really active in that moment of like, I need to get this information out now? I know how to do it. I've been seeing his face. I saw him last season. If there's a way, were you in sort of panic mode at that point? Like, I know my name is getting written down. Like, I need to talk to him because he'll spill it.
Well, he was the only one that seemed like he would crack or like tell you, even if he doesn't say it with word, like his body language was 100% I'm voting you. That I was like, okay, cool. Um, yeah, I don't like he really gave everything up really fast. It really wasn't hard. That I was like, really? Like, I would never tell someone or like hesitate when they asked, especially if you weren't positive you were gonna vote with them. Um, but I'm glad he did tell me. And he didn't ask, like, I don't even know if I might have told like what other people were gonna say if he had asked, but he wasn't. That I was like, okay.
Yeah. I think he kept asking like, "What are you guys doing?" And you would just go, "I don't know, because I need to know what you're doing." And that was just like genuinely so genius that you got the plan to flip there. And I guess going off of that, when Gage is talking to you, he's like, right now it's just you, or like, we already have the votes to vote you out. What was that making you feel in that moment?
Pretty mad. Pretty, it was like cool. I mean, I'm glad he was honest, but like, it's also like, what? Like, why would you tell someone that? Or like, at least tell me Abigail. So there's like an internal conflict, where I'm like, damn, like,
Hmm.
I don't know. It was weird.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, okay. I don't know how much you remember about your decision process the first round. I think Abigail was a little more wanting to vote with the girls than you. I think you had more hesitation to Vanessa and Ella Rosen. You were actually considering voting for Vanessa there, which honestly might have even been a better move. I don't know. Who's to say? I think it would have worked out for you and Abigail regardless, but obviously Vanessa was a player that needs to like probably go eventually for your Abigail's games, and thank God Dylan did that for you anyways. So like what were you 100% sure that you wanted to vote for Gage, or was there a little hesitation there?
No, I thought Gage was gonna be not an easy alliance member, but he was so honest, like with
Mm,
everything that he would have been a good one to play with.
yeah.
Um, because if people spilled my name out, I know he would have told me and all that. That I didn't really want to vote. Like I wanted Dylan, um, and I was okay with turning on the girls. Like I really didn't have a preference as long as it wasn't me or Abigail. Um, that I have no idea why it wasn't Dylan or why. Like in retrospect, I don't know why people weren't looking at him as a bigger threat. But
Yeah.
you
You
know,
guys pitched it. For anyone who didn't know that, who's been asking that, they did pitch it. That did happen. I can show you the receipts if someone sends me a text or something about this or a comment. So yeah, let's talk about following this vote, or let's actually talk first about Ella Rose because she's an interesting piece here. I thought you guys were gonna get along. That was my random prediction, was that you and Ella Rose were gonna like really work together. And I think Ella Rose, her gameplay was so oriented by Vanessa, and she didn't want that. I don't know if you've like she really was trying to get away from Vanessa the first round, and she couldn't because Vanessa was with her, and that sort of became her perception the entire game. But I don't know. What was your impression of Ella Rose? I mean, obviously she was such a big name. She's the reason why Survivor Palisades has such a big audience. What did you think about her?
I wasn't opposed to working with her, but like, I mean, like from the past, she is such a big player that I was like hesitant to really get close because like she plays big moves that I don't want to be someone she blindsides. That I
Mm.
wasn't like initially intending to. And then she came up to me and threw out Abigail's name, which I was like, not Abigail.
Yeah, that
Um,
was definitely the biggest misstep for her. I think any chance that she had to work with you, the window closed when she threw out Abigail's name, unfortunately.
For sure. But I was open up until then. Like I was like, okay, just, but also she's throwing out Abigail and I say no to that. Is she gonna change it to me? That I was like,
Mm.
you know, awkward.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's actually jump into this third round of the game. So from once again the footage, not everything airs right. Especially for like that your tribe, the perspective is mainly focused on Dylan at this point. But you did sort of have some intention of flipping on the girls the third round of the game as well. You wanted to vote for Vanessa or Ella Rose there, and the timing didn't permit it, and the circumstances didn't permit it. Tell me about your thoughts there, not getting your way there, everything like that.
Well, I just thought they were both playing really hard and it was really apparent, which isn't a bad thing, but like they were. Um, and so I was like, we need to get them out before the merge, before they have other people who are like, wait, that's great, let's align. And Dylan didn't seem like that big of a threat at that point, anymore at least. That I was like, I don't know, like, why not
He
get the
was sort
big
of like
people while it's
defanged without any numbers.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, backfired. But I think I tried to vote him out like 4 times, didn't work, but it's cool. Um, no, both of them were big players, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to be with anyone big, and I think I ran my mouth a little too much because every time, like Sean, I was like, Sean's getting too far. We need to cut him. Stratton was getting too far. We need to cut him. He mentioned wanting to win twice, which irked me, and I was like, we can't, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, speaking about Dylan a little bit, and also that piece you said I think is interesting because I do think had Vanessa made it through this vote, she would be equally as well positioned as you and Abigail were with relationships because Sarah and Chloe both Sarah had played with Vanessa, she wanted to work with her so badly. Chloe knows Vanessa, so that would have happened and Vanessa would have been a really, really dangerous player in that portion of the game. But talking about Dylan at this stage. Let's bring back your intuition. You were 100% correct that he had the idol, like dead on. What told you that? Just what were your thoughts in that moment?
Dylan was too calm. Like he should have been nervous. He should have been plotting. No, I don't have it. And like I'm like we had I think we had a clue at that point, no? Or
Yeah, from
it was
Gabe.
like the red something. There was a clue out and like everyone had spent time looking that someone clearly had it. And I thought the girls would have told us, like in an effort to persuade us, that I was like, clearly he has it. And he did. But no one wants to listen, so
So yeah, I think that is also interesting because I think Abigail did tend to get her way more and want to work with the girls more, and you had more interest of not having these gender lines, and unfortunately, the game went the way that the game went. Either way, I think honestly was a net positive for you, but I think maybe had you had that relationship with Dylan and Gage, it would have been a little bit more positive for you. But either way, you were still in a good position. But what was your thought process? You're going to tribal council. Dylan stands up. He plays his idol. Is it like I'm going home? Let me just curse him out as hard as I can.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Well, it's like, like why not? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, good play. Like,
Right.
no. That I was like, and then like it's almost more hurtful hearing that Vanessa was a harder player, so I want her out. I was like, okay. Like, what? But I was thankful to be still there, so, and it
How
kept it
sh
interesting.
Yeah, how
Sorry.
shocked were you when Vanessa went? Were you like dead shocked? I mean, your face was yeah.
I didn't I mean it was a great idea on his part. I didn't think twice about it. Um because I like in my head, obviously everything's about me in the game. That every vote's probably me. That I was like, oh my gosh, like if he doesn't go out, it's me. So a great play on his part. I hate that he got credit for that, but like it was cool.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the merge. These next two rounds might be the highlight of you and Abigail's entire game because you guys just absolutely destroy the merge. You should not be able to take control. Like it should not happen. And the fact that you guys do, it just speaks to both your social and strategic games. Let's talk about first your relationship with Chloe here. You're able to sort of foster it. Tell me about that for a second.
I mean, Chloe and I played together before, so like I know her and like strong bonds. That was how many years ago that I trust her. And I've seen the way she played, especially getting to watch a season back you've played with and seeing like if they didn't backstab you at all, like even in the confessional. I was like, okay. Like so I trusted her through that. She seemed really solid and stable. And the way she talks to people too, I was like, oh, like she's so truthful. Like that's not her lying. Um, that she felt really safe to align with.
Yeah, I would say her and Abigail have this just insane ability to listen like no other on Survivor. They are so good at just going, okay, gotcha, gotcha. Like they're so good at that. Yeah, both really incredible players. But okay, so this vote happens. Abigail wins immunity. Woohoo, let's go. That's your ally safe. And then you really want Stratton at this point. So I don't know how much you remember from this, but like you and Abigail were like nailing down the Stratton name the beginning of the round. It was I want Stratton right away, and no one was listening, so you back off. In the last 7 to 10 minutes of the round, you go back and like, no, Stratton needs to go. Stratton needs to go home. It's better for our game. Tell me a little bit about that process in that round.
Well, I think I forget if he had said it on the season before or like I don't even know where he was like I'm gonna like 2 wins in a row. Like he was boasting about that and I was like, "Oh, please." And the way he was playing felt and no hate, like that's how you should play. But it felt very like I want a winners, like I want to be a winner. That I was like we need to get him out now. Um and in retrospect, maybe that should have been like Chloe or Dylan. But
Mm.
I mean, he could have been final three, I guess, if we didn't vote him then too. So he just really felt like he wanted to win, and I think that irked me. I don't know.
Yeah, and something Stratton didn't do is he did not, when the merge happened, we barely talked about this on these podcasts, but he just looked for the idol the whole time. It's pretty much unaired because they didn't have confessionals of him saying that, but you guys were all like, what is going on with Stratton? Like, he's not even talking to us. Like, what is going on? Like, he was looking for the idol the entire round. That probably didn't help his case.
No. Well, and like good for him. He was playing really hard. I don't think he made an effort to talk to me,
No,
and
you
I'm
guys
sure
didn't
I
talk
took that
once the entire
personal.
season.
That's awesome. That's so cool. But no, I don't I think a lot of it was like strategic and personal. Like the vibes people were giving off. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Tell me about how your relationship with Dylan here switches because you go from wanting him out. We see you after his idol play being like, I kind of respect you. I want to work with you. And then this round you end up working with him. What was your perception of Dylan at this point of the game? Was it like I can use him as like sort of a shield? I can get his vote for sure. What were you thinking?
Dylan felt safe after. I mean, he shouldn't have, because I did try to vote him out so many times. But he felt safe for like I was like, oh, he was a safe one to vote out if we didn't have someone to vote out. Um, so we kept pushing it back because we were like, oh, and there's Dylan. Um, and good for him. But no, he felt really safe. And also, like, if you're able to sway Dylan, you're able to sway like Chloe maybe, or like he had his other connections that he could sway. So he kind of felt like a good um not necessarily I don't think we ever allied really that hard, but like a ally
Remotely.
adjacent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about EllaRose. So after this round, you go for EllaRose here. Do you think there was any benefit maybe for you? And this is all theoretical, and I honestly don't know the answer here. But do you think there's any benefit for you keeping EllaRose at the final eight just so you ensure that the blue people have the majority? I think a lot of people were saying that this move benefits Chloe and Dylan and Sean more than it benefited you and Abigail. Maybe that is part of the reason why Abigail went home. Like say you go to the final seven and you have Ella Rose as then a target there, but you had gotten out a guy. Maybe that could be better. I don't know. I'm being theoretical here. What do you think about all of that? Do you think it was the right move to take out Ella Rose then?
I mean, I knew she had to go out. She was like a great player. Keeping her could have been beneficial, especially because she did try to work with me. Just if she didn't throw out Abigail's name, I think I maybe would have been more open to that. But no, probably not the best call to get her out right then and there. But like also who knows, because if she stayed, she could have turned on me, and then I could have been out, not fourth or third.
Absolutely. And I think, yeah, I think with Survivor Palisades too, it's very hard because you guys get an hour round and only 20 minutes of that round is after the challenge. So you really have so little time to actually talk and strategize and things can move very quickly without moving very much, if that makes sense. It's a very chaotic game. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
for especially the last like 5 minutes before too, I feel like that's when everything went down. That it's like if you hear a name and you're like, I don't want them out, you have 2 more minutes. Like you're not gonna convince people in 2 minutes that it's like it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
right. That's probably why part of the reason Dylan can't go home episode one. Maybe he does on the real Survivor, but you can't get him out episode one without that extra time to talk to the girls.
No, for sure. On Real Survivor, I'm sure that would have been if you have like 2 days, to really marinate the idea in other people's minds. But in like 5 minutes, no one's gonna be like, wait, you're so right. That's great.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, this is the round that if you hear me clickbaiting, this is the round that we can talk about it. So, episode 5, Anna, you find an extra vote in the game. You find it near like a bag of chips. Episode 5, we give everyone one bag of chips. You find it in like the pile of chips. You take it, you read it. It's an extra vote, only good for this round. You end up not playing it because the vote is 6-2. You don't need to. Just tell me a little bit about that. Was that exciting? Was that fun in the moment?
I don't really remember it that much. But I'm sure I'm kicking myself for not playing it because I should have just to be like I could, or
Just
to
to have
like
that move.
flex it a little.
Yeah, you
Like
didn't bring it
why
up at
do
Final
I like
Tribal either.
I don't think I did not remember a single thing at Final Tribal. Like you could not have gotten a single move out of me at Final Tribal. Um I think it was Chase that was like, what's one move you made? And I was like, I don't know. Like I really don't. Um That's, because in my head, like, Chloe had just explained the game, and I was like, wait, she's so right. She did make those moves that I thought were mine. That I was like, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like, I don't know why I wouldn't play an advantage. That doesn't feel on brand to me either. Like, I feel like like, I really don't know why that didn't happen.
I think actually during the episode 4 and 5, you this once again is not aired just edgically for story reasons, but you make an effort to really play under the radar. Like you, episode 4 and 5, you're like, I'm not calling out anyone, and you didn't. Like if you watch those episodes, you're not going up to anyone's faces and being like, "You're voting me" or whatever. But you probably you do that in episode 1 and 3, and then after like 6 to 9. But you definitely you don't do that 4 and 5, and that that really works.
And I dare I say it helped me. Uh,
Dare I'd say I would totally agree. Yeah.
I would dare to say.
There you go. Yeah, okay, so let's jump into the auction. One of my favorite moments of the season is you being like, I'm going home and you're holding like your French fries like this. You're like, I bought a 10-pound thing of French fries when I could have had an idol. And you don't get the votes here. The boys sort of and Chloe sort of duke you out here. But tell me about Sean and just confronting Sean. Did you happen to watch episode 7?
Wait, like I know I've watched them, but what happens in
Yeah.
them?
Okay. So we watched for context anyone during the premiere when we premiered the season in Los Angeles. We showed episodes 1 through 6 and 8 and 9 because 7 just lacked a lot of narrative change and fluidity, and we just didn't have time to show it because we can't show everything in one night. So we didn't show episode 7. Have a confrontation with Sean there that is so funny. I will send you the clips in the times, but he's like, let's vote for
Oh
Chloe,
my
and you're
God.
like. I've never talked to you. Like I've talked to you once, and it's it's so funny. But the round before you also talk with Sean and you just are like accusing him of voting you. Tell me about Sean.
Sean, I mean, and no hate to Sean on a personal level, on a strategic level, I don't remember talking to him once. Um, and like what like why would I briefly remember talking to him in the sense that like it was like let's vote together. And I mean, I'm not sure if it went the way I remember it, but yeah, like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna manipulate him into voting with us and thinking we're like tied. We've never talked. Why would I trust you at all?
Yeah.
Um, and especially if I voted with them, I'd be the bottom of their group. That like, huh? Um, but no, like Sean, great gameplay was great. I wanted him out because I was like, he doesn't really want to work with me. That like, why would I work with him?
Right. You actually do like fully manipulate him. Like he was so blindsided that episode. He's like, I'm gonna send you this segment after. It is so funny. Like he's in the confessional being like, I got Anna, and it cuts to your confession. You're like, I'm voting for Sean. I don't care. And like he thought he was blindsided. You got him. It was good. But let's jump to the auction where auction episode. Abigail goes home. What was going through your mind then?
Uh,
Did you think it was Chloe right away when the vote was for Abigail? Did you think that was Chloe? Did you think it was Sarah? What were you thinking?
I was shocked. I was like, I mean, I looked over at Sarah and I was like, did you do it? And she was like, no. And then I looked at Chloe and she was
And
like,
she's like,
yeah. And I was like, oh, are you
yeah,
kidding? Like, and from that moment on, I should have been like, we need to vote out Chloe because that was crazy. But she does her thing where she like talks to you and make it seem like it's like super normal and duh, she would do that to my biggest ally. Um,
yeah.
but like you're also so vulnerable at that point that I was like, okay, like I'm next unless I don't do anything. So
Yeah, the vulnerability part, I totally agree with. What Chloe did there is she pinched you in and she forced you to have to work with her because she took away your closest ally. You had pretty much no one else besides Sarah there. You had no relationship with the guys. You had voted for Dylan at that point. You hadn't spoken to Chase or Sean really at all. So she sort of like forced you to work with her again, and that was really, really incredible Survivor. But looking back,
really good, yeah.
yeah, I so many looking back, it's crazy how in control Chloe was and just how intelligent she was about all of this.
Wild.
But insane. But like looking back, you and Sarah both were like, this move makes no sense. Why did she do this? Do you see now like Chloe's I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Do you see now Chloe's perspective? Because like sort of in the moment specifically Sarah was like that move made no sense. And so most people took it as like a poor move. And Sarah, I think, was a little bit um I'm looking for a certain word, was a little bit like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know.
No, well, for sure, the sense in the moment, it was like, why would she trust the guys who are gonna turn on her? Like, she's
Yeah,
so not thinking about it. Obviously, they had been talking before, like, duh, they had been talking before, and there was something we didn't know going on. But in the moment, it was like she jumped ship last minute. Um, but watching it back, you're like, holy crap, like, what? So
totally.
great on her. That was awesome. But I'm like, how did I not catch that? How did Sarah not catch that? Like, why didn't we turn? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did that bring you closer to Sarah? Because I mean, we see the next episode. Sarah is just an absolute beast. She just kills it and is so on the ground of getting the girls together and getting out Sean. Did that bring you closer to Sarah? Did she sort of became your number one for the next two rounds, it looks like?
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially I felt like we were both like not ally list, but like we were both blindsided that like who else would I trust? Because everyone else had their people. They voted on the right side. That
Right.
I was like, damn, okay, like
Yeah.
Sarah's the new Abigail vibe. Kidding. But
No
yeah, I
one
don't
can
know. Like
replace
she felt
Abigail.
safe. No one
Yeah.
could ever. That no, but she yeah, I think I don't even remember like there's a chunk in the middle of the game that's so I think I was so tired and so like, huh?
Yeah.
That
For sure.
yeah.
I can't
No.
wait to talk about this idea of Survivor Palisades fatigue because we sort of like came up with it on the podcast, and I think it explains Survivor Palisades really well, something that doesn't maybe happen on the real Survivor or isn't so visible and the real Survivor are at least so acute. But yeah, going into the final five, now the game has shifted. You have this alliance with this final three, excuse me, with the girls, and then you also have a final three with Chase and with Sarah. At that point, it seemed like you maybe were less committed to Chloe, more committed to the final three with Chase and Sarah. Would that be correct? Would you, if you had the
Oh, for
option, no
sure.
Dylan at final four, would you have taken out Chloe?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think I stood a chance of winning if it was me, Sarah, and for sure. If Chase, Sarah, and I were the final three, I'd have no doubt I'm winning. Um, but if Dylan, Chloe, and I are the final three, I have no doubt I'm like not taking a vote home.
Mm,
That I was like, cool. And like I knew that the second Sarah was out, I was in trouble. Um, Especially if Dylan or Chloe were in the final three, I knew I was probably in trouble.
for sure. What was your perception of Chase on that day? What did you think of him besides challenging?
I thought he was another what entertainment, like I thought he was like doing a bit the whole time, which he was, like and it was funny. But I was like, oh, gameplay wise, I beat him no doubt. And like no hate at all. Like I think that's what he was probably going for. Um, but I like other than that, like we didn't really play together. I don't really remember having any like he betrayed me moment or like he was there, fun to play with. But no, like I didn't view him as a threat or I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go through your entire thought process, the round that Dylan is saved by Chloe's idol, because I wish I could put it on the screen. I think you fully read, you knew that the idol was being played on Dylan once she dropped it. Just talk me through that.
Well, I don't. Who else would she play it on? Like with no hate intended, but like the vote wasn't gonna go to Chase or, and like I mean, she wasn't playing it on me. I feel like she maybe would have talked to me about it if she were gonna do that. Um, So no, I was like, ugh, like, are you kidding? And I feel like they had been tight for this season. Like they felt like they both played not similar games, but like in the same sense, they both played very
Dissimilarly
calm.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, like under the radar, strategic.
Yeah.
That made sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what were you thinking when that happened?
I was like, oh my God, like I hope it's not me. Um, which I don't even think my name was up that round, so I
It
don't know
was
why it would have
between
been me.
Chase. I think it was pretty definitively Sarah. The edit sort of like hinted, could it be Chase, Sarah? But it was going to be Sarah the whole time.
Definitely, damn. But like I don't I'm sure I voted Dylan that round too. Awesome. Um but they no they seemed aligned and I don't know why I didn't pick it up earlier cuz like they were always talking regardless if it was like with Sarah, Chase, me, like I feel like they were always together. We'll talk like plotting that it made a lot of sense. And I'm sure they were each other's like closest ally for a minute.
Yeah, okay, let's go to this final round of the game. I think this is where people are going to be the most confused. And this is where Survivor Palisades fatigue comes in. So let's set the scene. You're 15 hours into a day of 2 hours of sleep. You have done physically enduring challenges. You have that will make you sore the next day. Anyone wondering, yes, people are sore after Survivor Palisades. It's a real thing, I promise. You are mentally drained from having to strategize the entire day, from being in front of the camera, in front of let me get this number down. 45 crew members are watching you the entire day. And then on top of that, you are given literally no food. Like, how did that hit you at the very end of the game? Do you think that is why you end up voting for Chase there and not realizing that Dylan is going to want Chloe out and that you should vote for Chloe there?
Yeah, I think at that point, like it was whatever, like whatever people were telling me. And you trust people enough because you've known them for a whopping like 14 hours that you're like, that feels right.
Yeah,
And I was so tired. I got so sunburnt,
you did
too,
get
that I was kind
sunburned.
of like, ugh, like, that was a brutal one that, like I feel like I wasn't really thinking like really hard. Also,
Mm,
after Abigail left, I didn't think I was gonna win. That I was
mm.
like, okay, whatever gets me to the next vote, I'm happy with.
I think
Um,
the scene of you begging is one of my favorites also in Survivor Palisades history. Is hilarious. Yeah.
I was proud of that one. I was like, that one's good. That
You
one's
should
good.
be.
And when he wasn't like, he didn't even cackle, did not a laugh. I was like, that's so funny.
I think he was
Like,
insulted because I think he was genuinely insulted, honestly. Dylan, love you if you're out there because you had been coming for him all day and like I don't think he fully got that it was a bit and he was like, I am now like serious with power and he was like, are you kidding me?
oh my gosh, we let the 14 hours go to your head. I was so mad. I remember getting up and I was like, he didn't crack a smile at it. I
Yeah.
was like, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Um, Whatever. I was like, I knew you would eat that up. So I was like, okay, at least
Thank
someone's
you.
gonna laugh.
See, yeah, this is the thing. Can I say that where you work or no? I can cut this if I can't.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Okay. So Anna works on Big Brother now, the reality show Big Brother. So I think you have an understanding of how, television works and you want to make good TV. And let's get this out of the way too. Survivor Palisades is so ethical. It is so like nothing is rigged at all. Everything is completely fair. Even though this has been like a fairy tale of a season, like I don't know how everything got to be so crazy. I mean, part of it is the cast wants to make it entertaining, of course, but the fact there's obviously no riggery at all involved in Survivor Palisades, but it's so fun to have someone on the cast like you who is playing for the camera. Like during that first round of the day, like the entire production team had their mouths just open when that fight started. I was like, this is All Stars. This is how All Stars starts. This is crazy. So we were just so excited to see people playing that hard right away. And it's nice that you, at all hours of the day, wanting to deliver content for the fans.
Well, I was like, it's supposed to be fun. Like, it's not 39 days on an island or 26 or whatever. Like, it is one day.
Yeah,
That when people like didn't laugh at something or took it too, not that it shouldn't be too serious, but like when it gets intense, I was like, let's breathe. Like
absolutely.
it's okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing with you. Like, even when you're like you're talking to Gage, like you're gonna backstab the shit out of me. Like, you're still smiling, and I think everyone knows at home. Like, you're just having so much fun, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, there's no hate. I mean, yeah, no hate to anyone. I feel not friends, but like I feel like we all get along. Like
Yeah,
much love to everyone.
this
That it's
cast is
not
great. Yeah, no, this cast is awesome.
nothing's personal.
Yeah, I want to do a reunion with everyone in like 10 years and see where everyone's at. That would be so
Yeah, that'd be
funny.
so fun.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have like two show originals out or something. My dad always says if he could the bet money on someone, he'd bet on you, which
Thank you, Jim Cooper. I've been told, but
crazy
he's told me that. Yeah.
every time he sees you.
Oh my God. Thank you for the love, the Cooper family. And yeah, I guess we'll finish this up really quickly by saying, were you surprised that you got no votes at the end? How'd you feel about that?
I assumed one vote. Like, does that mean Abigail didn't vote me? Or
She did not vote for you
damn. Like I
and voted for
assumed
Chloe.
maybe one,
Yeah.
but I didn't think I was gonna compete with either of them. My final three speech, I don't even think I had a speech. I think I said I don't know. You know, I was so tired, and also compared to the two of them, it's like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah.
Um,
So say you had to cast that tie-breaking vote. If the vote ties, say it ties, you have to vote for either Chloe or Dylan. Who are you voting for?
I think it has to be Chloe. Like Chloe just like was great. Like you don't realize what Chloe was doing until after. Like even now, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That it's like she had that so well done. No hate to Dylan, just she really had it like
Yeah.
planned well.
For sure. All right, Anna. Well, before we leave here, I just want to just hear from you really quickly. How was your experience on Survivor Palisades All-Stars? Is there anything you would have done differently? Any thoughts? And also, what's next for you in this life? Are we going to see you on any reality television?
I hope so. My inbox is open if anyone would like to. Um,
Listeners, clip that now. Anyone want to cast Anna on a reality show? She is here to do it.
right here, open, available, sort of. We can make it open. I had a great time on Survivor. In general, every season's been so fun. This one was so, I feel like professional compared to the
Mm,
others.
yeah.
No hate to the others though. Um, um, no, but it was so fun. Like it's such a fun experience. And getting to rewatch it, like maybe that's really egotistical, but it's a lot of fun to watch it
No,
back. And you're
totally. Everyone says that. Yeah.
like it's great. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It's been awesome. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for hosting it. It's been so sick that
Yeah, of course. Anything really quickly before we end that you want to say to your fans too, your fan base watching at home?
not that I can think of, but thank you.
There you go. Well, Anna, thank you so much for complimenting me and thank you for all that you have done for the show. I think it has been 7 years for you on this show now, which is absolutely insane. That you have, grown up through this just like me. You have never failed to be entertaining, kind, and just always willing to be there and support and help and do whatever. And so thank you so much for giving up, your day, first day after college and finals and all that for this. And for being a part of this for so long. I know everyone at home is so thankful that they've gotten to watch you 3 times, and hopefully we'll get to watch you someday on a real reality show. We are all hoping and waiting for that. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, Anna.
Of course, thank you, Emmett. That it's been a movie.
Yeah, been a movie. All right. Well, we are signing off here. Once again, thank you, Anna. Your time here is, I guess, over now, but it has been so great over the years. Make sure that you also check out Chase's exit interview, Dylan's, and Chloe's. Those are all up. They should all be up now. You should go check out all of those exit interviews. Hear from all of the final four. Some of the interviews range from 15 minutes. Chloe's is an hour long. So whichever end of the spectrum you want to watch. I haven't filmed Dylan's yet as of this, but I'm sure it'll be relatively long as well.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to check those out. We appreciate all the love. Bye bye.